Alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel once again. Grinding out videos today. As you can see, we just finished our day 4 and 5 of the FTMO challenge. But I want to make a little video on support and resistance because I did have a previous video on support and resistance. It wasn't too specific, clear. That was my old way of trading. So I want to update that. So let's go ahead and go to a chart. Actually, first, let's do a random date generator. November 15th, 2018. So let's go down to the charts. So we got November 15th of 2018. We're gonna go to that date, and that is, okay, so we have the last bar available. It won't go back that far. So we'll go ahead and start right here. And I just want to show you how I draw my levels. Let's start off on the bigger time frames. We'll go to the 4 hour. What I see right here is we form some support right here. We form some support right here. And then we're starting to form some resistance. Then we can go down to the 1 hour. And I'm not doing daily, weekly, or monthly right now because this is how I trade on a daily basis. I check the daily and weekly candles just to make sure where the trend is going, but I don't make support and resistance off of that. So as you can see, there is a resistance right here, and this is where you fine tune it. You can put resistance down here. Again, resistance down here. I wouldn't count this as this is a minor resistance as it was just a fake out. We have another resistance up here. We can even go down to the 30-minute. This can go a little higher. This can go a little lower. And this can also go a little lower. So let's just play some candles back and see how price reacts to these levels of support and resistance. So as you can see, we came up past this, still acted as resistance because we have a lot of choppy waters right here. Came back down, and you can see how perfectly this wick touched this resistance and came straight back down. And then we came down and bounced right off of this support. So you want to find clear levels of support and resistance. Let's keep playing it a little bit, see what happens. Again, acting as support. Then we finally broke past it and then came back up. This acted as resistance. Now we have another level of support right here. I try to draw them as skinny as possible, especially on the lower time frames. We do have support / resistance right here. As you can see, price could not break below or close below this. I wouldn't count this as a fake out. And then of course we have these wicks being rejected down under this area. Again. Look how strong that resistance lasted. And then again, this acted as support. We tapped this level, came all the way back up, and then got rejected by this level. So this is gonna be a pretty short video. But this is just a great demonstration of how to find support and resistance going from a higher time frame to a lower time frame, and you can see how well price reacts to that. So if I were to take a trade on this, say we pulled our fib out from here to here, and you can also see how this support was right in conjunction with the 618 and price skyrocketed from there. So that's pretty much all there is to it. There's a lot of mentors that make it a lot more complicated than it needs to be. What I used to do back in the day, let's clear these charts, was I would go to a higher time frame and I would say, oh, this whole area is acting as support. But what happens when you go to a lower time frame? That support you just drew is about 40 pips wide. Is about 40 pips wide. So it's hard to distinguish whether price is rejecting or not unless you're on that time frame, which is why I work from a higher time frame down to a lower time frame. So that's pretty much as simple as it gets. You want to look for wicks. Some mentors say you should do the whole wick, but again, that's a large range. You don't want, it gets very confusing when you're trying to trade, especially when price is in that range like I just showed you on the daily, because you don't know where price is going due to the fact that it's not a specific price zone because it ranges by a lot of pips. So you want it as skinny as possible, not as possible, but to cover as much as you can, but still keep it small, because it's a lot easier to find your break and retest. For example, like right here, we don't want to put our resistance throughout all these wicks. I'm sure this would work on the lower time frame, as a 1 minute would be kind of consolidating inside of these wicks, but we're on the 30 minute, and I don't trade on time frames lower than a 15 minute. So we would want to keep this as small as possible. For example, this could be shown as a break of this, but we never had a retest and rejection, which is how I normally trade. You really want to look for those retests and rejections. And then we also have these highs. Instead of drawing giant resistance zones, I will usually mark out the highs. So if price were to close past here, that's when I would start going for buys. So this isn't a great example because we had a giant wick that was about 70 pips long. Okay, so right here, we're forming this support. And see how skinny I draw that? Price could not close past here. This bearish bar got pushed all the way back up above that. This wick touched it, rejected, rejection, rejection, rejection. And then we finally had a close past it right here. DJ is not known for doing break, retest, and rejections. But as you can see, we closed past that. The highs were right here and we touched that high. But in conjunction with that, we also closed past this resistance. So that would be a good confirmation and showing high probability that price will continue downward. But anyways, that's it for this video. It doesn't need to be too long. Support and resistance is very simple and extremely effective. So there's not much to talk about. But again, if there's any questions, go ahead and comment. Go in the Discord, ask questions, whatever. I'm happy to answer anybody's questions and help them out on the trading journey. Anyways, have a great day, and I will catch you in the next video.